Hello and welcome. So today I'm going to be attempting the Guardian's Everyman crossword. This is being published on the Sunday the 18th of August 2024. So I'll be publishing this a week later because I think there's a prize crossword attached to it. So we don't get any check buttons down here, we don't get any help as to whether we know it's all correct. But if there's a prize, then obviously I don't want to put it on the web and spoil it. So you'll see the results a week after I've attempted it. So without further ado, I'm going to crack on. When the world's not enough for enemies to be trounced. When the world's not enough for enemies to be trounced. That sounds like an anagram of something in there. When the world's not ready. Gosh, my reading's already gone down the pan. Bay that's included principally in shipping forecasts in the middle. I would think that's probably a well, feels like it's a hidden word. Or principally in shipping forecasts. SF in the middle, centre. Not sure. Old songs and flags. Old songs and flags. Something about tyres, I would think, for flags. But then old songs and flags. Oh, soul tyres. Okay. Let's continue on with the crosses. Old songs and flags. Elite group. Looks like there's a little thing over elite. Elite group had some food before noon. 1 and 4 had some food. Sometimes being an indicator there's a hidden word, but I think it's something to do with the elite group with the SAS. Before noon would be AM. Brunch. One and 4. Woods may hold such sporting prize. Woods may hold such sporting prize. And the Ashes is a sporting prize. I mean, technically Woods would hold Ashes, but I don't think that'd be a strange clue. Tiger Woods. Sporting prize is 5 letters. Yeah, beyond Ashes, I can't really think of anything. Property of thesis. Property of theses. Cool. 44 runs to the west twice. Fancy. I mean, 44 in Roman numerals is something for. What is it? It's C. L for 40. Well, for 50, so XL IV. I mean, that's 44, I think, which to the west doesn't really seem like it's going to help me much. Glimpse with psychic powers, Yeti's head. I mean, that's pretty Y, isn't it? Espy, I think that's ESPY. Hurrah, something. Twee, antique, golden, uncased. Oldie, I suppose. Yeah, oldie. So golden without the case of it. OPERATIC. Operatic there. I saw the word primarily, and it's always a that primary is with Everyman's always an indicator that you just take the first letters. So dived in this. What was actually the clue? Primarily, orotund, pronouncedly, emotively, rococo. Alternatively, that involves Carmen. Whew! Glad I didn't read that out. Most like Friar Tuck, squiffier than the rest. Friar Tuck was obviously the religious part of Robin Hood's Merry Men. Merry is most like merriest, I suppose. Merriest is squiffy. So you're normally merry if you're squiffy, so and if you're more than the rest, then you'd be merriest, I think. Democrat, you may know as Republican. Capital, golly. I can order that to be Dakar. Democrat, also known as Republican. Dakar, capital of. I'm going to go on out on a limb and say Senegal. Somewhere around there. I think it's Senegal. Strips off laying back for slumber. Peels and sleeps, isn't it? I'm not sure which peels. Laying back, so sleep. No, for slumber suggests it's going to get to sleep. So strips off his peels, put backwards is then sleep. Gives us full slumber. Puts at risk the final causes fury. Or endangers, ends danger. Endangers, I think. Puts at risk is to endanger. The final is end. Angers is fury. Seen that clip a few times, kind of got used to it now. Doors increasingly left open in winter. I want to say French windows, but I don't know why that'll be. No, French windows, French. Increasingly left. Storm. No. Is there anything to do with French? I don't know. Okay, well, that's a fairly decent lower half in there. I mean, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clues in a row at one point. Wow. That's a pretty terrible start. Didn't get that one. Loudly punished, faceless aficionado, suppressing resistance and getting bird. I assume there's a bird. Bird could refer to prison time. Loudly punished, faceless aficionado, suppressing. So I think that's an anagram of aficionado without an A on it, with a resistance which is R for resistance to get to a bird. So loudly is F. Aficionado. Oh, I'm going to come back to that one when I've got some more letters on the board. Survives, leaves on horseback. I would have thought it was rides out, but leaves on horseback. Yeah, if you ride something out, you survive it, don't you? Monster, therefore recoiling. Ergo, ogre. Is it? Yeah, ogre is the monster, and therefore is ergo, which needs to recoil. Hid, rabid, deerhounds. Hid, rabid, deerhounds. I don't know if that can be a hidden word, even if it is. I mean, it's a long word. Deerhounds is 10 letters. Rabid deerhounds. Okay, yeah, deerhounds is an anagram, isn't it? Under. Something under, I think. Which leaves me. I'm really trying not to use the anagram indicator because it tends to mess up my screen. But I think my screen's already messed up anyway, so let's have a look. Deer, hounds, under, something under, showed under, maybe it isn't under then. Hid is, I don't know, I can't think of what it will be at this point. Let's have another, just going to realign my screen a little bit, so I think that's when I got down to the bottom of the crossword, wasn't it? A little bit more I can go. Oh. So there, I think that's about where I want it, is it? Okay, let's keep going. So that one, don't know what that is yet. Hopefully I'll come back some extra umami. Umami. It gives you a shock. I mean, there's a trauma in there. Umami just reminds me of that scene in Friends with Ross and Unagi. Makes destiny, etc. go awry and bites the dust. That's almost certainly an anagram of makes destiny, etc. bites the dust. Strikes, no, stinks, sticks, bites the dust. Going to leave that long anagram for a while. Leisurely walks are strolls, brief moments, engrossing on reflection. I'd be glad to. God, I think that's yes backwards. Brief moments. Essays. Brief moments. So what's a moment? It's a minute. Yeah, engrossing on reflection. I'd be glad to. So yes is being taken into brief moments, which are and leisurely walks are I'm not sure. I'm sure essays, but I don't think I'd be glad to. Is it yes? Maybe it's. I think it's yes. It can't be okay. I mean, it could be okay or something. I don't know. Essays means brief. I thought leisurely walks were essays, but I'm not sure. ASS for brief moments. We'll come back to that. There might be a property of thesis. Property is documents. No. Gosh. It comes out at night, offering support to a hunter. Moon something. Moon. Stars. Comes out at night. I mean, that's kind of a tooth joke, isn't it? And dentures and things. Offering support to a hunter. So, hunter would suggest it's a word up here, being offered support. Down here, support would be. Not sure. Detective's addresses in the auditorium. So, auditorium suggests homes, isn't it? Addresses, homes, yes. And obviously Sherlock Holmes, auditorium being a sound-like indicator. Protégé given to aunts. What's this? Announced preparation for hostilities. Protégé is a lad. Given to aunts, announced. Preparation for hostilities is. I mean, aunts could be maidens. I don't know if that's politically correct these days to say that, but maiden aunts. Don't know if that would be aunts announced. Preparation for hostilities, I would think is what we're trying to get to here, but the only word I can see there is dance at this point. Dense. Don't know. Spot, sharp, implement, taking some measure. Pimple. Pimple for spot. Very nice. Okay. And 21 down. Let's do it on the anagram indicator. I don't know if that helps me or not really. Historically, periods, eras, ultimately coming together are correct writers' mistakes. Historical periods. Erases. Ultimately come is E, erase, and then eraser. There we are, eraser. And go in there. And I need to realign the screen. Oh, but there we go. I think is that the last one. Oh, I got that one down there, so I'm gonna have to do it anyway. Aren't I? Everyman had at heart jury product of thought. I think that's idea, isn't it? At heart is EA, I'd EA, and the product of thought is an idea. There we go. Okay. Well, it's not too bad. When the world's not ready for enemies to be trounced, that looks like it's going to be an over thing. What open? 4-letter words beginning with O. Over, open. That's about all I think. When the world's not ready for enemies to be trounced. I think that's. Let's see what anagram's going for. Enemies to be. Enemies. Enemies is obviously to be. No. For enemies to be. Okay. Trounced. I think that's ready. Whoa. I mean, actually, there's no V or P to make that open, so. Well, if that's an anagram, when the world's not ready. before one's time, I think that is. I don't know how I figured that out. I mean, yeah, ones is a very important word in crossword solving, actually. Comes up all the time. I mean, always look for ones, but of course in that one we didn't really have an indication it's going to go like that. Let's see if that does fit. For enemies to be. Shuffle. Yep, that's correct. I think all the letters seem to be taken. This one. See what we're doing with deerhounds then. If anything. Deerhounds would be endorse. Can't be endorse, can it? Hid. What's it? Enshrouded, I think that is. Enshrouded. I better check that as well. Deerhounds. Enshrouded. Yep. Worth checking actually in case that's enshrouds or something silly like that. That looks like promises. Property of theses. Promises. Premises. Premises is property, isn't it? Premises. Not promises. So it's quite a nice little. I guess if it's a prize crossword, that would eliminate anyone who biffs in property without promises without thinking about it. That now looks like it's say. Elite group had some food, so that'd be a team before noon AM. So yeah, some 8 before AM, and the elite group is the A team. Sorry, so I'm laughing just because it's because that was the TV show that I used to love in the 80s, and I think it shows on one of the channels I've been watching recently. What's this then? I thought it was minutes. Moments, brief moments. Moses. What am I trying? Moses. Go for a Moses, a leisurely walk, isn't it? MOS. Mose. Yeah, Mose for moments. Okay. I must be able to get this now. Come on. Makes destiny, etc. Makes destiny, etc. Okay. What have we got? Or maybe not. What am I going to? Bites the dust. Meets sticky end, I think it is. I'm going to stick in meets sticky end and see if that goes. Meets a sticky end. Let's check out if I got that right. There's an A in there somewhere. Meets a sticky end, so makes destiny, etc. Missing letters. Yep, all letters in circle going, so that suggests they're all being used once in there. Let's go back, see if I can get this one done. Old songs and flags. Ooh, old songs. Don't know. Bay, that's included principally in shipping forecasts in the middle. I don't know anything about the shipping forecast. I don't necessarily think it is a shipping forecast area, because that would be really unfair for a bit of GK to know. Have to know that. In the middle is, don't know. Oh look, there's my F from loudly. Punished, faceless aficionado, resisting, suppressing resistance. So let's try that as a. So we need the F for loudly. And then we need aficionado, resistance. Got too many letters. Let's see what that brings up anyway. I really want to put peregrine falcon in there, which clearly doesn't fit at all, but getting bird. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 14 letters, of course. Faceless is 8. Aficionado is lots. I can't say. Can't get that one. That one I'm not sure about. This one would. I mean, it could be fat, but then I'd have an H there, wouldn't I? Oh, what's this? 44 runs to the west twice. Fancy. Well, I can't think of anything to do with 44. Is the trouble here? Um, to the west obviously means a word that goes backwards twice. Fancy is, so 44 runs would be an R. Oh, that's just looking at whether runs is an anagram. S to mean 44. I'm just going to have a swig of tea, so excuse the microphone being battered around for a minute. Hopefully there weren't too many slurping noises there. Just going to take a look at my screen, check it's all in line. So I've been about 21 minutes as well on this so far. And actually a few up there, 1, 2, 3 down here, so generally not too bad. It comes out at night, offering support to a hunter. That's an interesting question. I've got no idea. Support to a hunter. Is a hunter here probably kind of some kind of animal? Yeah, I mean, it comes out at night really makes me think it's going to be some bad joke like to do with dentures or... I can't even think of anything else that will come out at night really. This one, I'm going to have to now. Protege, given to aunts, announce. So now, announce suggests we're looking for a sound like of aunts, which I can't think of one at all. Preparation for hostilities, or announce preparation for hostilities. Maybe it's a sound like a preparation for hostilities, which the only thing I can think of is you get ready, you get armed. Armed doesn't really fit into there. Let's have another look at this. Doors increasingly left open in window in winter. So, doors increasingly left open in winter. I don't know if winter is here going to be some kind of December or February. January is not really a good word for using in crossword clues because of the J, but December, DEC, and February, FEB. March, increasingly left is... Okay, so increasingly left makes me think this is connected with it, something wider, lefter, but I can't think what that would be. Doors, open in winter. Lander, it's an interesting surface to the clue, but it's not an interesting clue to try and solve. Yeah, so it's not easy. It's not an easy one. It's going to need a moment of inspiration that I don't think I'm going to come up with. Doors. My types of door is very limited, really. So I feel like I've reached my level here, really. Bay, that's included principally in shipping forecasts. In the middle. The only bay I can think of is Cardiff. I mean, you get bay leaves, which is a type of tree. Bay that is included is IE, SF. So I've got SIEF. Doesn't really help. In the middle. Can't think what that would be. In the middle. Between doesn't fit. This one, woods may hold such prizes, such sporting prize. I think that's probably a woods may hold such. and then sporting prize. Now, despite all my years of watching sport, I can't think of what that would be. Sporting beyond ashes, which, do I really like that? Ashes, maybe. If I leave that there, then it might remind me not to keep going. Where's this H coming from? And what is that going to be? Getting bird. I mean, is it simply a bird? In which case, I can't think of a bird that begins with F. 2 words. I mean, normally it's like bald eagle, peregrine falcon, type of a specific type of bird, or specific subspecies of a particular type of bird, so to speak. Old songs and flags. I mean, Flanders. Again, I can't really see what goes in here. Iris, I think iris is a flag, isn't it? Old songs and flags. I'm struggling to see how, if I put flags for iris in there, where I then get enough. You know, if the clue, if I put in a type of song, then I've only got a definition of old, and I can't think of any word that is 9 letters ending in diris that means old. So dirges, X is old or O is old. Let's have a look at this bay that's included principally in shipping forecasts. In the middle. There's no B in shipping forecasts, so that's not going to is there a TI? That's included principally. BTI? It can't be BTI because it's got bay. Okay, let's go BIE and put that as X. X. Blah. Old songs. Flags. Expires. I kind of think flags is like tired, or the other day I saw it. Flags meaning paving stones. X. Blah. Expud. I mean, that could be areas. Old songs. X. That can't be areas. I'm talking rubbish. Beef by principally in, that's included principally in shipping forecast. It's in the middle. BIE. So I've put B for bay, which doesn't really work. IE. This isn't working, is it really? 44 runs to the west, twice fancy. I feel like that's 2-2, but fancy. But that's just me trying to get thinking of words that have got U's in them. 44. Just don't know what to do with 44. There's not a clue. 44. Clue 22 is merriest. So 2 lots of 22. Thinking 44 runs to the west. Runs SN NS to the west twice. You'd think that's an R. Oh, excuse me, R. Or I would think that's an R for runs to the west twice. So 44 R going west twice. Fancy. Don't know what that'd be though. R something. I mean, there's very few words I can think of that have a end in U anyway. But to have 2 of them back to back, I mean, it should be I want to say almost an obvious obvious answer really, and it isn't. It's the simple truth. It's not obvious. And of course they could just be two unrelated words, or not two unrelated, but they're not necessarily repeatable, but the fact there's twice in the clue makes me think there is. It comes out at night, offering support to a hunter. That's really hard without an extra letter. It's hard enough to have that missing as a letter. I was looking at foxhound there. Getting bird, fox, hound, horde, FL, finch, 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 loudly punished, faceless aficionado. Aficionado is an expert. It's suppressing resistance. There's an R, but so is this going to be loudly? Is F obviously punished without a? It's another word for punished, but without the first letter. In which case, whoa. That's probably ED, isn't it? Maybe. I think I'm probably at the end of this one really today, because I'm got reached a point where I just don't think I can go anywhere on any of these clues. None feel like I can get away into them. Protege, given to aunts, announced preparation for hostilities, war. Hostilities is war, isn't it? Maybe there's a war dance. Okay, war dance. I said dance was the only fit there, and aunts. Ward is a protege. Boom. Okay, now I feel like I've got back in there. Lavender. Doors increasingly left. Oh. I mean, could be Ida. Lavender. Doors increasingly left open in winter. Tender. It's kind of frustrating that war dance is so obvious when you see it like that, and yet when I was looking at it, just couldn't get it. Doors increasingly left open in winter. Kind of feel like that's open in winter is kind of a something like Christmas grotto or something. I'm gonna have another swig of tea, so excuse me for a minute. This is kind of why I gave up on the Everyman a while back. Actually, I used to do the Everyman frequently, and every Sunday, and pretty much I'd complete it every week. And I certainly wouldn't have this many clues left 30 minutes into it. I mean, from when I began, I struggled, and then as I got decent at crosswords, I started to be able to get them down. I'd get just a couple of clues left that I couldn't do. And the past 2 weeks, last week I think I had 7 or 8 clues left at 20 minutes. And then took another 20 minutes to unravel them. Likewise here, what have I got? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clues left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clues left. And I've been at this for 35 minutes now. And I really feel like I haven't got any particular chance to get these clues, so as I say, about 6 months ago I gave up on Everyman, which was partly because the clues themselves just felt so, honestly, obtuse really. They just had nothing in them that gave me a feel of what I was going for. And I then picked it up a few weeks ago because when they started their quick cryptic series, they seemed to get a bit better again, a bit more achievable. But I mean, the last 2 weeks have kind of made me feel maybe they aren't going to be achievable anymore, and it's time to stop doing the Everyman again. Because, especially without any kind of check or reveal button, it's a bit pointless trying to record these if you can't then show people what you're doing. I mean, I just can't think of anything that fits anything. I can't see what a door is meant to be. I can't see increasingly left. Left is port. Do I want an L in there? Maybe. If I put an L in there. Increasingly more open in winter. I can't think what's open in winter. So December is winter, but I don't think it's that. It feels like that way for most of these clues really. I can't feel what I'm meant to do with old songs and flags. I suppose right out could be wrong. I think right out is correct. I mean, it expires with flags, but no. X for old, and then not sure what else. Loudly is F, fair enough. Punished, faceless aficionado. Suppressing resistance, so on, an R in there. Well, I've got an R down there somewhere. Getting bird. I'm hoping it's, well, I say hoping, it doesn't really matter to me if I can't get it, but I'm hoping that's just a type of bird as opposed to something convoluted for prison, because I can't see what prison would be, other than two very long words. Can't think what that would be. This one, absolutely no idea. This one, woods may hold such sporting prize. The only sporting prize I can think of is Ashes. Obviously the FA Cup, ending in S. You've got the Stanley Cup for in ice hockey. You've got the Vince Lombardi Trophy in the Super Bowl in the NFL. You've got the Champions League. You've got the World Cup. I mean, most of these trophies do not have a name really. I kind of feel woods, if you burn trees or whatever, then they do reduce to ashes. But that's a bit of a jump to get from woods to ashes in that respect. Tiger Woods, majors. Tiger Woods won majors, opens. Woods may hold such prizes. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it is something like opens, but even that. Yeah, so I think that's probably as far as I can go on that one this week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left, I think. Well, in fact, opens isn't right either, so let's take that out as well. Just have a look at that bay that's included principally in shipping forecasts in the middle. Bay of Biscay. Is it that simple? Biscay. In the middle. And if it's, let's go with that. I mean, that then would fit ashes, wouldn't it? Old songs are flags. Cool. And Bay of Biscay is the only thing I think that is included principally, so is an I into shipping forecasts in the middle. I've got no idea what's going on with that cliff. It is Biscay. I don't think it is really, but Yeah, so there we go. Time to call it a day on that one. I might see if I can have another go later in the week and see if anything more pops up and see if I can find a way to amend the two videos together. But otherwise, that's as far as I get. So by the time I publish it, the prize will be over. So if you want to put anything down in the comments as to the clues I can't get, crack on. Well, if everything's gone to plan, I've I've managed to attach this onto the end of the previous stream because I spoke to one of my friends who's a very good solver, and he did this whole crossword in about 15 minutes, and he confirmed to me that actually Biscay and Ashes, I need to put that in, were correct. So I then sat in the garden, pulled out my phone, and basically finished off in about 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm going to just go through my order of things going on, and then of how I got to those final answers, and then I'm going to talk through the clues because I don't think I did that on the first part. So after I knew those were, I then looked at this and I finally saw that this might be flags is standards, although I don't understand why old songs are standards per se. And then that gave me this one: loudly punished, faceless aficionado, suppressing resistance and getting bird. Just looked at that and thought, feathered friend. Feathered friend. There we go. And then again, I mean, I'd seen so when I looked at I just suddenly saw standards of that DRS, and then this bit I looked at and thought calendar, and then this clue is doors increasingly left open in winter, and I thought, oh, it's advent calendar, isn't it? So advent calendar went in at that point. And then I was kind of a bit stuck again, and then I looked at this clue here: 44 runs to the west twice, fancy, and I thought, if that's R something E, then an R goes in there. And then that helped me out to spot that it comes out at night, offering support to a hunter. Made me think, well, I think when I was talking in the earlier solve, I was thinking about the moon coming out at night. And then I thought about the stars and Orion, the cluster of Orion and Orion's belt. So support to hunter, Orion was a hunter, and support with belt. So that just left this clue here. And actually, I don't know how I got to this exactly, but the answer is through, which having looked it up after I solved, is a fancy part on a skirt. So that is the whole crossword, I believe, done so successfully. As I say, I did get my friend confirmed these two clues to me. So I'm going to go through and just go through the answers. So when the world's not ready is a definition of before one's time, and for enemies to be is an anagram of that, and trounced is the indicator to tell us we're looking at an anagram indicator. So next one, old songs and flags. Now I don't understand why old songs are standards, but flags are standards. Standard bearer is a flag bearer. Elite group, is the A team. Had some food is 8. Before noon is AM, so AM is in the morning, so that's before noon. Woods may hold such sporting prize. So I think the surface of this clue, i.e. how you read it, is meant to make you think about Tiger Woods and therefore golfing prizes. But actually, as I identified quite early on, actually sporting prizes, the Ashes, cricket's Ashes, is a sporting prize, and Woods may hold, well, if you burn wood you get to ash, so I suppose Woods gets Ashes. I mean, I'm not very keen on that as a clue, because there's nothing to talk about the fact you're burning it, but there you go. Property of thesis, so property is premises and a thesis is premises. Right, so this clue here, 44 runs to the west twice, fancy. The fancy is the through part. Now actually it's not 44, it's 4-4, so we've got 4-4 and then runs to the west, and we move the R of 4 to the west, R of 4 to the west to get to through. Glimpse is to espy or espy, I don't know. Psychic is ESP, extrasensory perception, psychic powers, sorry, and then Yeti's head the head of a yeti is a Y. Twee, antique, so golden, uncased, so uncased, golden, take off the G in the end, leaves the word oldie. Twee, antique, you say ye oldie, whatever, I think, I don't quite know. Twee, antique, it's kind of a twee phrase, isn't it, for something that's old. Primarily orotund, pronouncedly, emotively, rococo, alternatively that involves Carmen. So Carmen is an opera, and primarily is one of Everyman's signature clues, which means just take the first letter of all the words that come after it and we get operatic. The most like Freitag, well, most like Freitag, so we're looking for the most like Freitag, squiffier than the rest. So Freitag was one of Robin Hood's merry men, so he is the merriest. Democrat, you may know as Republican. Capital, so Dakar is the capital of, well, I think it's Senegal. I think it is, but I'm not entirely sure. It's definitely on Western Africa, on the west coast of Africa. And Democrat is D. You may know is also known as, and R for Republican. Dakar. Strips off is peels, but laying back. So peels going back. Peels normally put it backwards gets you to slumber, which is sleep. Puts at risk is to endangers. The final is end. Causes fury is angers. Doors increasingly left open in winter, so yeah, advent calendar. As the days go by, you open more doors. So now let's go back to one down. Okay, so this clue, I couldn't pass it at the time. So Bay of Biscay is area off to the west of France on the Atlantic. Now, Bay, that's included, so we've got BAY, and then we're including principally in shipping, so IS, principally is IS for in shipping, put those in, and then we've got forecast in the middle, so the middle of forecast, middle letter of forecast is a C, put that in as well. Whew, to get to Biscay, that's a heck of a clue. Right, so loudly punished, so we've got F, and then faceless aficionado, suppressing resistance, and getting bird. So a bird is a feathered friend, we know that. Faceless aficionado, suppressing resistance. We've got a couple of R's in there. I'm going to just, we've got EATH. Is it a fiend? Some kind of fiend. Suppressing resistance. Aficionado. Punished. Loudly punished faceless aficionado. Weathered fiend. Is it weathered? I don't know. I mean, I can't. That's a clue I'm not sure I can really pass. Punished. I'm sure punished is an indicator that it's going to be some kind of anagram. Faithless. There's no S's in there. There's no L. So faithless make punished. Faithless. Okay, feathered. Okay, so it's a word. Punished. Weathered. Aficionado is a friend. Is that right? Fiend. A fiend. It's suppressing an R, I think. But punished. So loudly is the F at the start. Punished. So I'm looking for a word that's punished. Could be beat. I don't think so. It's a word for punished without an F on it, I think. Sorry, without the first letter. I could probably go through the alphabet and work it out, isn't it? Weathered would be my guess, but I can't think, and I'm not going to spend any more time on it. Survives, leaves on horseback, so double definition here. If you survive the storm, you ride out the storm, and leaves on horseback, rides out. Monster is an ogre, therefore recoiling, so therefore is ergo, recoiling, putting it in the opposite direction. Hid is enshrouded, and rabid deerhounds is an anagram indicator of deerhounds, gets us there. Some is a hidden word indicator, and now we've got trauma in extra umami, and gives you a shock. Trauma gives you a shock. Makes destiny, etc. is an anagram of meets a sticky end, so go or is telling us to do an anagram of that, and bites the dust is to meet a sticky end. Leisurely walks are moseys. Brief moments, M-O and then S at the end, mose. Engrossing on reflection, I'd be glad to, so yes. I'd be glad to is yes, and it's on reflection, so it's going upwards in there. Engrossing being the thing telling you to put it in there. As I just said, it comes out at night. Well, Orion's belt is part of the Orion constellation. Support, your belt supports your trousers. So there we go. Detectives' addresses in the auditorium. So Sherlock Holmes is spelt this way. Addresses are Holmes without an L, and in the auditorium is telling us it's a sound alike. Protégé is a ward given to aunts announced, so aunts, ward aunts, and preparation for hostilities, is a ward aunts. Spot, sharp, implement, taking some measure, so some is again indicating there might be a hidden word, and pimple is hidden away in there, and a pimple is a spot. Historical periods are eras, ultimately come together, so we've got ER from come and together, last letters, ultimate letters, and an eraser will correct a writer's mistakes. And finally, the other signature clue for Everyman, just put that up a little bit, is Everyman had. So Everyman likes to include a clue about himself, so in this case it's I, and I had would be I'd, and at heart of dreary is EA. So IDEA is an idea, which is a product of thought. So there you go, all done. Eventually, only a little bit of help. If you can figure out feathered friends, fantastic. And I'm just hoping that I can now join this video onto the other one from earlier and give you a complete video next Sunday. So thank you for watching.